And because of some of that, I've heard somebody term it as a blood sacrifice. I think people need to know what it took to get where we are now. And as it's been stated, we aren't there yet. But to make the movement that has occurred, I don't think it would have gone worldwide had it not been for the deaths of those kids. They gave up their lives. They were innocent. They were not demonstrators. They were not troublemakers. They were children in their proper places. And somebody took their lives from them. And I think it is important that you tell your children that you come in contact with. Children died so that some of these things could happen. And it's important enough for them to respect the laws and the advances that were made because of
it. She said the thing is the biggest perception, misconception, was the fact that everything we did, the movement, everything was geared toward equality, not integration. This is a misnomer. I mean, I would happen, in my school, but not for people you know. You're more connected with your family or people in your neighborhood, and that time, your neighborhood was sort of settled in that realm and so forth. But when we got school books, and there would be books like passed down from the white schools, and the kids would write little notes on them. And each year we got the school books each school season. What we did the first day, teacher, everybody get an eraser, sit down with the books, go through the books page by page, and erase all the little notes they had left for us to read in the books and so forth. Now you said things you can tell your kids. I think you can tell probably teach all your kids the fact that everybody may be a little different. But it's only because of the fact of your desire and so forth. I always use the analogy of the French fries. Most are your French fries, right? What do you put in your French fries?
Ketchup.
You put ketchup, right? If you go to Germany and order French fries, what do you get on them? Mayonnaise. If you go to England and order French fries, you get what on them? Vinegar. And I've seen people in Italy eat French fries with olive oil. So it's nothing wrong with it. It's just a difference. So that's why I try to tell people, kids and so forth, because a person got red hair or blue hair or whatever it is, because you don't like it, don't mean nothing's wrong with it. So I think that's the best message you give your kids, the fact that there are differences in the world, and because of the fact you don't like mayonnaise on your French fries, that doesn't mean that someone in Germany doesn't want mayonnaise.
One of the greatest misconceptions and really falsehoods that's been developed is the idea of what Africa was, is, in fact. And I understand that because I learned about Africa. My initial understanding of Africa was from the Tarzan movies. There was a family, Tarzan with his wife, Jane, their son, boy, the pit chimpanzee, the cheetah, and they control the whole continent of Africa. So what would a young black child or white child want to emulate would be that white family. So that is the Hollywood version of Africa. But then if you start to talk about Africa, all of us have heard of Timbuktu, right? Timbuktu is some form of discipline no one wants to be associated with. What we find out that Timbuktu is an educational trade center in West Africa. And in that city was a university called the University of Sankore. And the University of Sankore was where cataract surgery was performed. That is, documented information, but the vast majority of people never even heard of that. How many people have heard of the Hoya people? These were people in present-day Tanzania who developed an iron and steel making process over 2,000 years ago. Yeah, most folks never heard of Hawaiians. I give that information because normally when we start to talk about Black history, we start with 1619 with Black people enslaved. There was so much that took place prior to that. I taught at UAB for 34 years, retired a couple years ago. And the first class period, of every class that I had, I'd make a statement. I say, in this country, where race is concerned, you're basically insane because when race comes into play, logic has a way of exiting. And I give sort of an example of this. When we start to talk about integration of neighborhoods, for instance, invariably what we think of is a Black family moving out of a Black neighborhood into a white neighborhood. I asked the question, how many of you thought of the possibility of a white family moving out of a white neighborhood into a Black neighborhood for the purpose of integration? Most of us haven't even considered that, Black and white. Why have we not? Because of the way that we've been socialized to believe that whether it's white is all right, correct and right, because Black is negative and bad. We've internalized that. As a nation, we've internalized it. So these are some things that we have to deal with on a daily basis if we are to really deal with the question of change in our society and looking at our society from a perspective that's different than the perspective that we have been given. If we fail to do that, many people that I talk to say, well, that really doesn't matter, but it really does matter. It matters for the nation as a whole, and unless we can deal with that question, we are probably bound to remain in this position that we've been for so long. So dealing with those